Hello and welcome to the latest video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout as we look ahead to game week 30. My name is Joe and today I'm joined by Fantasy Football Scout's deputy editor Tom Freeman to reveal our game week 30 bus teams and see if we can do any better than game week 29. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, it was a difficult 29, wasn't it, Joe? I think we're still kind of recovering from it, but trying to look ahead at least.
Yeah.
And we're obviously going to find out more about game week 34 soon. And I think I'm right in saying we both got wildcard and bench boosters left to play, haven't
Yes.
we, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so I think
So
we're probably leaning towards 35 for the first of those, but let's see what the fixtures throw up.
yeah. So I don't know. Obviously, we don't know at this stage what the game week 34 fixtures are going to be. So everything we say is in mind that you can, when you find out the game week 34 fixtures, if you find out in the next few days, then you can sort of apply whatever we're saying to that as well and how it's going to fit your team. But yeah, as you said, I'm hoping to go for game week 34, which on the face of it doesn't look like as big a double game week as 37, and I'm going to use a transfers for that. And then game week
Yeah.
37, I'll have wildcarded and I can bench boost for that because it'll be a bit bigger. Although some more expensive players from expensive teams are available then. So yeah, just see how it falls. But that's the sort of plan at the moment. I haven't got too many triple ups or double ups or anything like that. So I've got this sort of broad mixture of players. I've got a bit of Bournemouth. I've got a bit of Palace, a bit of Everton, a bit of Manchester United even. So I've got a broad mix of players. Manchester United are not going to double in 34, but I've got that sort of mix so I can just get one or two players and use transfers, I hope. Before we
Yes.
have a look at the fixtures, just remind everyone, do press that like button. It really helps us out. And do then subscribe wherever you're watching or listening to this so you can keep up to date with our latest videos and podcasts. And also check out membership offers at fantasyfootballscout.co.uk to help you climb up your mini leagues. Okay, let's have a look at these fixtures. Now, I've only done it up to 33 because we don't know 34 yet. But this shows that Chelsea, great fixtures. They're top here, but Burnley, Manchester United, Sheffield United and Everton up next for them. Bournemouth, pretty good fixtures. Everton at home, Crystal Palace at home, Luton away, Manchester United at home. Fulham, great fixtures. So if you've got Muniz or considering getting him in, Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest up next. Newcastle and West Ham thereafter. Liverpool, good fixtures. Brighton and Sheffield United at home. That's Salah captain time, I would say. Manchester United is also Salah captain time, and Crystal Palace at home. to be honest, that's Salah captain time as well. And then worse fixtures amongst those with worse fixtures. Luton, terrible fixtures. Got Arsenal, Man City over the next four. So Villa, they've got City and Arsenal. Crystal Palace have got City and Liverpool, but do have Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth away first up. So good fixtures, then bad fixtures, then could double. And Brighton, their fixtures turn now. Liverpool away. They got Arsenal at home, game week 32. Do have Brentford and Burnley away, but it's not great. It's a mixed bag. So yeah, looking at this, what are you sort of thinking with your team and sort of teams you're going to target? And just remind people when you're considering wildcarding as well.
Yeah, so I think the plan is to wildcard in 35. So after that double game week 34. So for instance, Chelsea are obviously got good fixtures. They've got, and so Palmer's already in my team. But I don't think I'll probably go for further Chelsea because I know that I'll be wildcarding in 35. That way I'll be able to get their doubles. They're not going to double in 34. So with Chelsea, I'm okay just leaving it. I've already got triple Bournemouth. Now, if Bournemouth double in 34, they've obviously got a great run of fixtures. I've got Semenyo and Solanke, and I'm very happy with that. Liverpool, good too. Potential double in 34, which I like. Also, Wolves as well. Now, they've got Villa, Burnley, West Ham, and Forest there. Then they could have a double game week. Then they play Luton. So I think now that we know that Neto's out, I think Sarabia is a player at 4.7.
Okay.
I'm considering bringing in.
Okay.
Probably be on probably be on penalties. I know Cunha's coming back, but I think he'll still be on those. He'll be on set pieces. And so I like Wolves as well, actually, there. So, but again, I think because I'm going to be making transfers towards 34, the fixtures that we get once 34 is announced, that will be key to the teams that I'm targeting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think also Eight Nori for Wolves could be an interesting one if
Yes,
you're looking for a new
very much
defender.
so. Yeah,
Um, and Newcastle, another interesting team. I think West Ham and Everton at home for Fulham and Tottenham away. So quite good fixtures. Even the away
good.
fixtures are good. And so, but they're not going to double in 34 now. Am I right in saying
No,
that it's going to be
correct.
37 for them? So we know that
Yeah,
already. So I probably don't need to. If I'm also looking to wildcard 35, maybe 36 even, but 35
yes.
looks like the one, especially take advantage of that sort of double game week they're going to have there. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at as well. So well, let's have a look at your team and see how you're set up and what moves you're going to make. So if do you want to run through who you've got, what you're considering?
Yeah. Yes. So got a 3-4-3 formation. I have to remind myself of this team after the free hit
Yeah.
last week. Forgotten I got half of them. So we've got Dubravka in goal at home against West Ham. Got three defenders, which are Zabani, Van Dijk, and Gabriel. Gabriel is flagged. He's pulled out of the Brazil squad, but we're hoping that it is a international break injury
Yeah.
and he'll be okay. I've then got Saka, Palmer, De Bruyne, and Son in midfield, with Son as the current captain, and then Watkins, Solanke, and Semenyo up front. And then on the bench, Areola, Barkley, White, and Taylor.
Wow.
So I've got one free transfer, but I've got 9.2 million in the bank, which is all part of selling Haaland a few weeks ago, and
Yep.
and so the transfer plan, which was put in place a couple of weeks ago, was to go from De Bruyne to Salah with one transfer this
Yep.
week, and then go from Watkins to Haaland in 31.
Yep.
And that's fund that the money is there to do that
Yep.
without any hits or anything
Okay.
like that. Um, there are, I suppose, this week the defence with Gabriel in that slot. It's not ideal, is it? Playing a defender away against Man City. I'm just not sure whether it's going to be worth a hit
No.
to do anything there. I might even play Ben White over Gabriel because he has been getting forward a little bit more.
Yep.
Probably maybe a bit more chance of an assist. Well, definitely more chance of an assist at the Etihad with Ben White. And I think I'm just going to have to kind of suck it up and just play one of those defenders this
Yep.
week and just leave that position there. But everything else feels pretty good about the team. Salah coming in for De Bruyne, and then I've got really strong midfield. I think don't think I'd change any of those
No.
midfielders for anybody. Double Bournemouth attack against Everton. I'm kind of locked into that a little bit now, especially if Bournemouth double in 34. I could, for instance, go from Barkley to Sarabia and take a -4 and play him over Semenyo. But I think a home match, Semenyo after a good rest for Bournemouth over the international break, I think I can. I think I can play him in that fixture. Okay.
Well, I was going to. I mean, I sort of raised my eyebrows at the bench in a good way, though, to like in seeing Barkley there because Alfie Doughty is also flagged at the moment, and if he doesn't make it, that means Barkley's on even more set pieces
Yeah.
there, and Tottenham as much. Well, their Fulham game was the first one they didn't score, but they frequently concede. And so
Yes.
Barkley, I don't think if you wanted to bench one of your Bournemouth strikers,
Yeah.
I think going 3-5-2 with Barkley there, I would not be disappointed with that myself.
No. Yeah, no, exactly. I wouldn't mind playing him against Tottenham. So yeah, I don't think a point hit will be necessary this week. I think De Bruyne to Salah, and then deciding on if it's Gabriel
Yeah.
or White or Semenyo or Barkley, that kind of thing. And then it will just be a case of focusing after that towards double game week 34. I've already got triple Arsenal. I've already got triple Bournemouth, and I've got two from Liverpool. All of those teams could potentially double in 34.
Yeah.
If all of those three teams do, I've already got 8 double game week players. And then it will be a case of filling it in and maybe looking at a Palace player
Yeah.
or maybe an Everton defender, something like that. And then wildcard in 35 probably.
Yeah, and also with that volume of double game week players there, and if you've still got those that aren't doubling, like perhaps Son isn't, for example, you're suddenly thinking, well, actually, this could be bench boostable.
Yeah, I think we just need to see the fixtures, don't we? And
Yeah,
then kind of make a decision then. But yeah, I mean, that kind of depends on if Liverpool, excuse me, Joe,
that's fine.
I've been struggling with a cough for the
That's
past
fine.
week, and I've been chatting for
I'll
about
talk
two
more. I'll
hours
talk
now.
more in a
No,
minute.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, I think that depends as well on what happens with Liverpool now. If Liverpool are to double in 34, then I think you might not feel the need to go with Salah for the run in. Then suddenly, if you don't go with
Mm,
Salah for the run in because Liverpool aren't going to double in that last little
mm.
phase, you can obviously build a much better bench boost teams
Yeah.
because all of those funds suddenly aren't as much of an issue. So I probably would favour bench boosting in 37.
Okay.
But I'm not completely ruling 34 out.
Okay, rightio. Okay, well, save your voice, and I'll move on to my team.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, just a final thing. You can give a one word here. Your captain is currently on Son. Your vice captain's on Palmer. Both good options. But if you get Salah in for De Bruyne, would he be your captain?
He
Okay.
would be,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
correct.
Right. We'll move on to my team then. And I've kept up my plan because it hasn't really changed as yet. So I'll read out the names who I've got and what my plan is for Game Week 30. And I've also got a plan right up until the end as well. So I've got Kelleher in goal against my team Brighton. And so I'm looking for save points there, obviously. I've got Gabriel, who's flagged. I'm actually going to field him. And I've got Zabarnier at home to Everton, so very fieldable. And Alfie Doughty, I'm quite keen to play against Tottenham if he is
Yeah.
fit because of set pieces, and I think Tottenham concede. So I think I might better get an assist out of him. I think he'll concede, but I might get an assist or an attacking return. I've got Son, my current captain at the moment, at home to Luton. Foden, at home to Arsenal. Saka and Palmer. And then in a 3-4-3, I've got Haaland, Solanke and Watkins up front. On my bench, Areola, away to Newcastle. Garnacho, away to Brentford, so he's definitely fieldable. Anderson away to Nottingham Forest, who is also fieldable, I think. I think he would
Yeah.
concede, but I don't mind him. And a Stupinan away to Liverpool, which is a sort of, I'm not sure he's going to play. He's going to be coming back from an international in South America, I presume, and he's obviously away to Liverpool, so he's definitely third bench there. So my thoughts for this week are Foden to Salah. I have 5.5 in the bank, so that can be done easy. And game week 31 to 34, I'm going to use my focus on whatever double game week 34 throws up. So I'll know the fixtures then, and I'll just keep stocking up, and I'll be stocking up on good players there. So for example, if Palace double, then they have bad fixtures, Palace, for game weeks 32 and 33, so I'll be using 34 to get Eze to add to Anderson for that. I might look at an extra Bournemouth player. Wolves are interesting as well. I don't have any of them. 8 Nori in for a Stupinan, for example, is something I'm eyeing up. Darwin Núñez in for Watkins. There's all these things. I can't say what the moves will be, but there will be something like that. It will be something to build for 34 and players with good fixtures before. And then 35 or 36 I'll wildcard, and then game week 37 I'll bench boost. So far, it may well be the way 34 lands, I'll bench boost then, but I would be extremely lucky, I think, if like that happened. And then game week 30, I'm going to finish and have a cup of tea. That's always the plan. So for this week though, I could play Anderson, but I'm quite happy for him to come in. I think I still prefer Gabriel
Okay.
and Doughty.
Okay.
And other than that, I think it just picks itself. Really, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a shame you can't play Garnacho because Reguilon's obviously suspended
Yeah.
down that left side for Brentford.
Mm.
And that could be it, but you can't start him over any of the players that you've got. So
No.
he's just a nice first sub to have. I think I will probably play Anderson over Gabriel, even if he is fit. I think
Yeah.
there's
I
more
mean,
chance of a clean sheet for Palace there.
yeah. I did play him recently. I had to play him. It was there was a sort of a mini blank. I can't even remember now when it was. There was a sort of a mini blank game week, and
Yeah,
I basically had to play Anderson, and
26.
he got a clean sheet for me then, exactly when I
Yeah,
needed him.
was it against Burnley? Was
Yeah.
it the
Yeah.
Yeah, and they scored, didn't they, with a couple of minutes to go, and then
Yeah.
it was ruled out or something
Yeah.
like that. So they got the clean sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I owned Mark Gahey, and I did, and the idea was to always play him in that game week, and then he got injured.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would consider that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they probably both can see, but Anderson does have a bit of threat, doesn't
Yeah,
he? A
he
bit of
does. Yeah,
from set pieces,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
look more solid. Look more solid in this back three. Could be a cagey game, that one at the City
Yeah.
Ground. So yeah, maybe that's just a thought to have.
Yeah, I mean, because also a lot of the potential double game week players are 34. So, say for example, Wolves double, Eight Nori would be interesting to me, but Eight Nori's away to Villa, so less interesting. So,
Yeah,
if I could see a defender who's got a good fixture and is definitely doubling in 34, then I would be
you
very
would.
interested in them.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe for a hit. Well, it would be for a hit because I'm definitely getting Salah in for Foden.
Yeah, I'm just going down the list now, and of the players that you could consider. And it probably is. Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to go eight Nore this week, would you?
No.
There would be an Everton. You could consider an Everton defender, but again, an away fixture at Bournemouth. It's not the perfect fixture to be taking a
No.
hit for, is it, for a
No.
defender? So maybe you just play what you've got. A little bit like me with Gabriel or White at Man City, and
Yeah.
just say, well, look, I'm not going to have the optimal team for this week, but if it's part of a bigger plan, then
Yeah.
fair enough.
Definitely. So it's an odd week because we're going to get more information during this international break, but I think it's good for us and hopefully for you watching and listening, just to sort of get your minds back to Game Week 30. Forget all about Game Week 29. Forget whether you're free hit or not.
Yeah,
It was absolutely awful unless you owned like Nunes, and even then
yeah,
it wasn't like spectacular. I mean,
no.
you just would have got like 12 points more or so than other teams. But yeah, so we're looking ahead to Game Week 30. There's going to be plenty more videos and podcasts coming up over the next week or so. So do stay tuned to Fantasy Football Scouts YouTube channel and also wherever you get our podcasts from as well. So make sure you subscribe so you can keep up to date with those. But in the meantime, Tom, I'll give you a voice of rest now. Thanks for
Thank you.
joining me and good luck for Game Week 30.
Brilliant. Thanks, Joe.